This county and this town in south central New Mexico were named in honor of President Abraham Lincoln in 1869. Ironically, this historic settlement, composed of a cluster of a few dozen stone, wood, and adobe buildings, was originally called by the Spanish-speaking people Placidas, meaning peaceful. In the 1870s, Lincoln, New Mexico became witness to some of the worst violence ever recorded in the history of the American West. Opposed business factions, fueled by greed and prejudice, exploded into open warfare right here on this street. And the names that emerged out of that violence have passed down as a who's who of the dark side of the frontier myth. Chief among them was the name Billy the Kid. Morning. Mind if I sit a while? You look like an old timer. Been here all your life?
Well, I ain't dead yet.
Maybe you can help me out. I'm looking for someone.
Sneaky looking son of a bitch.
He's a guy I grew up with. He was my best friend back then. I haven't seen him in 30 years. That's how old that picture is. He got in some trouble with the law back east where we came from and just took off. He always, the reason I'm asking here is he always had a thing about the West, and especially about Billy the Kid. Matter of fact, his name is Billy. He always used to say he was going to go to Hollywood and play Billy the Kid in the movies. I know it sounds crazy, but I knew him pretty well. I always thought he might just end up here in Lincoln, because this is where the legend of Billy the Kid began, isn't it?
Well, everybody comes here looking for the real Billy the Kid. But I don't recall ever seeing this fellow before. This place changes faces every day. And hundreds come and go. There's always some that get a notion in their head that they're Billy the Kid or Pat Garrett. He's the one that killed the kid, you know. Lots of pretenders around here. I've seen it happen many a time. Used to be a fellow down the street, old squinty-eyed Virgil Morse, on the gas station. He know more about Billy the Kid than anybody around. A strange fellow. He got it in his head that he was Pat Garrett and started to tell the Billy the Kid story to suit himself. History buffs around here, they got all upset with him for telling the story his own way. That old gas station was a real eyesore, so they had it tore down just to get rid of him. Now we got to go clear to Hondo to get gas.
I get the feeling a lot of very strange things happened here.
Yes, sir. Bad things happen here. Killings. See that building across the street? Billy the Kid gunned down 2 good deputies there. Serious business. Wasn't no play acting about it. Now people want to make a circus out of it. Charge admission to see where the bodies fell. People don't realize what the real thing was. If your friend really thought he was Billy the Kid, he'd ended up dead.
Hey! Hey, what's going on here? Hey, you! Hey, boy! He's robbed! Hey, stop! Come back here, goddammit! Come back! Come back here! Who the hell was he? What? He robbed us! You stop blubbering like an idiot! He was here! He run up with all the cash! You goddammit! Who the hell was he? I don't know! What do you mean you don't know who he was? He was Billy the Kid. Look, well, don't stand there. Go after him, man. The man, he said he was goddamn Billy the Kid. Oh, there ain't been no Billy the Kid for 100 years. That's what I told him. Goddamn stupid. He said it was Billy the Kid. Put that thing away before you hurt somebody. You'll wake up the whole goddamn neighborhood.
Where's the glory? Does the story change as time goes passing by? Men before you rode along this highway, finding answers as to how men live and die. And hey kid, look around you. Things may be a whole lot different than they seem. Take the time to find out what's around you. Can you tell if this is real or just a dream? Sunshine of the time guns were symbols of the law.
took my quarter, man. Well?
What do you want?
I kind of wanted a Coke.
Sure you put your quarter in?
Yeah, I put my quarter in. Kind of quiet around here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Somebody told me Billy the Kid came from here.
Yeah, I went to school right up the street.
Thanks a lot.
Don't you be kicking my machine.
Sorry I kicked your machine. Sorry I kicked you. Where you fellas headed?
Hey, Bo, make that lucky. Who wants to know?
All right, forget it.
Hey, Bo, some hippie out here wants to ride. What do you think?
Let's go.
Say there, hippie, you got something to say to me?
I ain't say nothing. Look, you guys, I don't know trouble.
Ain't gonna have none either. Not around here, he ain't.
Look, this ain't none of your affairs either.
Just told you it was.
You back up that hippie?
Why don't you boys go on home? Too early in the morning for this kind of crap. They kick the shit out of you.
I was looking forward to it particularly.
Well, the big fellow Bo ain't a bad sort. He's just kind of dumb. But that Mexican from Maine, he's trouble. Starting fight. In and out of jail.
Thought you said it was quiet around here.
Yeah, you should have been around here when I growed up. These kids today, they think they're tough. They're nothing. It was worse before my time. You was asking me about Billy the Kid over there. You know, my granddaddy knew Billy the Kid.
You telling me the truth? Your granddaddy knew Billy the Kid?
What's this? That's Caleb.
Hi. Coffee smells good, man.
Sit down, kid. You know, it's a funny thing you asked me about Billy the Kid. He come wandering into this country just like you done 80 years ago. He was an Easterner. You an Easterner, kid?
Yeah.
I thought so. He was an Easterner just like you. Come out here to be a cowboy.
You didn't say very much that day.
Well, Caleb ain't playing with a full deck. Ma had the measles when she was carrying him. He's harmless, just likes to sit around here and bang on an old banjo I got. He's pretty good at it. I like to listen to him. I see you got an instrument, kid. You playing? I was telling you about Billy the Kid. Now, what most people forget is that this part of the country was settled by a bunch of crazies. Kind that couldn't make it nowhere else. They could come out here and feel like they was honest thieves. And you never knew what a man's real name was. That's why it was so hard to keep all the stories straight. Fella'd be John one place, Bill another, and Jack or God knows what somewhere else. Now, Billy the Kid had 3 names. McCarty, Billy Antrim, and William Bonney. Every time he'd go to some new place, why, he'd use one of the different names. That's how he'd keep away from the law. See, if he was a rustler or something, that sort of thing come in handy. I really think Billy got blamed for a lot of things he didn't do. Well, the real story about this began like most things. It was too many pigs at the trough. It was February the 18th, 1878. John Tunstall was brutally murdered. Tunstall had been Billy the Kid's good friend. Back here in Lincoln, Billy the Kid and some of the other men that had worked for Tunstall waited for his body to be brought back for burial. And Billy was only 18 years old. He'd looked on John Tunstall as a father. Tunstall had given Billy work, and he'd given him respect. As far as Billy was concerned, he'd lost the only real friend he'd ever had. Tunstall's ranch foreman, Dick Brewer, felt the same way. Tunstall had been a fair and honest man, good man to work for. Billy couldn't figure out the whys of this killing. Oh, he knew the whos, but not the whys. Tunstall was brought back to Lincoln draped over a mule. Now, originally, he'd come here from England. He'd gone into partnership with a lawyer named Alexander McSween. They'd set up a store and a cattle business. But there was them that didn't like the competition. The Murphy Dolan crowd ran the town of Lincoln. They were a hard bunch of Irishmen that fought together in the Civil War. They had ties to the governor of the territory in Santa Fe, and they owned all the businesses in these parts. They didn't take to outsiders like Tunstall and McSween horning in on what was theirs. They also owned the sheriff. They had him rig up a posse to kill John Tunstall. Now, you see, when it happened, Tunstall had left his ranch. He was on his way to Lincoln. The sheriff and his posse met him on the trail. Billy was about a half-mile away hunting wild turkey. He'd heard the shots, but he couldn't get there soon enough to help. Tunstall had been unarmed. They all knew who was responsible. At the funeral, Billy swore he'd get revenge.
Aquí estamos para sepultar a Juan, que fue un hombre muy bueno y con mucha virtud. Dios que lo tenga en un descanso verdadero. Estuvo muy bien mientras que Juan estaba vivo, pero ahora lo retiraron.
With Tunstall gone, it was time for his partner, Alexander McSween, to pick up the pieces. McSween went straight to the Justice of the Peace and demanded warrants for the arrest of the sheriff and the others that he knew was in on the killing. Little did McSween realize that them warrants would lead indirectly to his own murder. His plan, you see, was to get Dick Brewer deputized to lead a posse after the killers. Now, like Billy the Kid, Brewer had been close to Tunstall. He was going after the murderers, warrants or not. Well, sir, you don't have to put bees under your hat to guarantee you'll get stung. Yeah. With Billy the Kid and Brewer on the side of McSween, and the sheriff on the side of the Murphy Dolan crowd, feelings in Lincoln was split like rails on a fence. What they was heading for was going to be called the Lincoln County War. After a lot of convincing, the Justice of the Peace finally signed the warrants. Things seemed to be going right for McSween. He had his warrants, and he thought he had the whole thing all tied up legal-like. Posse was ready and waiting. A real tough bunch. Besides Billy the Kid, there was Billy's friend Charlie Beaudry. There was Doc Skurlock, Jim French, and young George Cole. They rode out of Lincoln that day with one thing on their mind: get Tunstall's murderers. Now, they found two of them, Billy Morton and Frank Baker, up in the hills east of Lincoln.
Drop it. Move it. Get over.
Morton and Baker had no way of knowing that there was no chance they'd get back to Lincoln alive.
We ain't going no farther.
Billy the Kid drew first blood that day, and it was that single act that branded him a killer. A killer that'd one day be tracked by a man named Pat Garrett. That's the way it started.
I don't know, it sounds kind of complicated to me.
Simple things always start complicated.
Where's the can?
It's one holer, Out back.
Oh, come on, Bill. You gotta be kidding.
This is the West, boy, the Wild West.
Yeah.
Hey! Don't shoot, I'm coming out!
What'd you do that for?
Like I said, kid, this is the Wild West. Kinda uncomfortable, ain't it? Sitting in an outhouse, somebody shooting at you. You see how it was in the old days?
Yeah, but I...
Anyway, one of the fellows that killed Tunstall was the sheriff of Lincoln County named Brady. He's the one I was telling you was owned outright by the Murphy Dolan crowd. It was on the morning of April 1st, 1878, April Fool's Day. Sheriff Brady and two of his deputies was walking down the main street of Lincoln towards the courthouse. Billy had finally got revenge for Tunstall's killing. Sheriff Brady lay out in the street all that day. They found 17 bullet holes in him. George W. Pepin, who was known around town as Dad, took over the job then as Sheriff of Lincoln. Now, he took over the job partly in revenge of Brady's death, because Brady had been a friend of his, and partly because he didn't like Alexander McSween, but mostly because the Murphy Dolan crowd made a good-paying job out of being sheriff. Billy and his friend Jim French headed out for the hills. All they figured they had to do was stay a day ahead of the posse. Hell, to the kid, Pepin was no real threat. He was just another one of the Murphy Dolan henchmen. The kid just sort of roamed around the country, kind of waiting for things to calm down.
Hey kid, where's the glory? Does the story change as time goes passing by? Men before you rode along this highway, finding answers as to how men live and die. And hey kid, look around you. Things may be a whole lot different than they seem. Take the time to find out what's around you. Can you tell if this is real or just a dream?
Sit tight, kid. This son of a bitch probably just wants a free map.
Give me $1 for the apple.
Get the windshield.
Why don't you grab a guitar and play something with him?
What does he play?
Play something old time. Lay it on there, Caleb! Well, the spring rains came to Lincoln County, so Billy and his gang cut loose on a wild spree of nickel and dime robberies and some small-scale cattle rustling. You see, wet weather's good for two things: crops and the outlaws. When it's raining, you can't get a man-sized posse together for love nor money, and you can't blame the men. They got 100 things to do, like leaky roofs and bringing things in out of the wet, or just staying home not getting pneumonia. Billy got to running about as free as he wanted to, what with the rain keeping men home and the flash floods washing out tracks and covering up evidence. Now, when you can't get a posse together, something else has got to be done. People in Lincoln County were plain fed up. They demanded Sheriff Pepin put prices on the heads of Billy and his gang. Now, that brought in some bounty hunters, men like Buckshot Roberts. He was a loner from Texas, had been in trouble on his own. All he cared about was some extra money. The thought of glory never entered his head. Billy was just a snot-nosed kid. No legend to him. Legends are for books, and Buckshot wasn't the reading type. But you always knew when he was coming because he rode an Appaloosa mule, and there wasn't many of them around. The Kid, Brewer, and the others were holed up at Blazers, the old sawmill on the South Fork near the Mescalero Apache Indian Reservation. Now, they were there because it seemed like the last place anybody looked. But there's always a Buckshot Roberts. Took guts to ride in the Blazers that day. Maybe old Buckshot knew what he was doing. Maybe he didn't.
Where's old man Blazer? Mr. Blazer?
All right, drop it, Roberts.
Beaudry, how's Tom? Bad. We better get the hell out of here.
What about Roberts?
Forget him.
That was the first battle old Buckshot ever lost. But he didn't go cheap. He killed Dick Brewer. And I'll tell you something, kid. You can start out with a reason, then suddenly things start falling apart under your feet. Kind of like quicksand. That's the way it was with the Kid and his bunch. They had big reputations now in Lincoln County. Places to hide were a lot harder to find. Charlie Beaudry had an old adobe shack out on the Rio Ruidoso, a few miles from Lincoln. He kept his Mexican wife there. What the hell? You always run home to Mama after you've been whipped. Killing Brewer, old Buckshot had given them a pretty good dusting off. Well, Faudiard had taken a bullet in the belly, and George Coe had a finger shot off his right hand. They were all down and out.
Come on, deal.
Where you want?
Sometimes you pull a string too tight. Breaks. Here comes our local artist.
Hi, Birch. How's the old pump? Where's Caleb?
He's around somewhere. What's on your mind?
I need some cigarettes. Get some change?
Yeah.
Hello? I've never seen you around here before. Thanks. Grab this thing, Burge. Oh, there it goes. Has to drop down. If you're gonna hang around for a while, maybe I'll see you later. Don't let Burge give you a hard time.
What do you think of that?
I don't know.
Where was I? Oh, yeah.
Hey, you, McSween.
Yes, Mr. Pepin?
I got legitimate warrants here for that gang of yours. And I'm gonna have them. Yeah, I'll get you, too. I'll get you.
As the weeks went on, the Murphy-Dolan crowd was putting more and more pressure on Sheriff Pepin to get the kid and his gang. Now, McSween was worried. They'd murdered his partner, John Tunstall. Hell, why couldn't they do the same to him? McSween's wife, Susan, began to sense her husband's fears. She'd come out here with him to begin a new life. Now, none of her dreams seemed to be working out. She was frustrated. It's like she knew there were some terrible things coming. Early on the morning of the 15th of July, 1878, Billy the Kid, Jim French, Charlie Baudry, Doc Skurlock, Tom O'Folliard, Eugenio Salazar, and George Cole gathered at the McSween house in Lincoln. They knew Pepin and his posse wouldn't be far behind.
This is just a precautionary measure.
If they want to fight, we'll give it to them.
Relax, boys. I'll do the dealing with Pepin.
Here they come.
In there and I want them. McSween, look, I'm tired of playing around with you. If you send them out or we'll blast them out.
Pepin sent a couple of men around the back of McSween's house with orders to burn them out. Inside, nerves and ammunition were both running short.
I see what you
That was the summer of 1878. It's called the Lincoln County War, and it really put Billy and his gang on the map.
None of this seems to have very much to do with Billy, though. What was Billy the Kid like?
I'll tell you what Billy was like. I once had a sheepdog. Got a little squirrely, turned on the sheep. You know what I did?
What?
Killed it. That's what you gotta do. You gotta kill them once they've blooded.
Oh, well, I should have known. I asked you about Billy the Kid, and you tell me he's a sheepdog. Listen, you're a little bit weird. I'm sorry. I admit you kind of helped me get out of the from an ass kicking, but the BB gun on the outhouse is a little bit too much. And
Hey, kid. Let me show you something. Yeah. Everything ain't what it looks like on top. Come on, I'll buy you a beer. Couple beers.
you know, I'll bet that thing's 100 years old. I wonder how they got it out here.
Wagon train. Them days, everything come out by wagon train from St. Louis. 6-month trip. I wouldn't be surprised that thing's out of McSween's store. Remember I was telling you about the night McSween got killed and Bill and his boys got away? Well, the next night, they looted his store. That's when they brought in Pat Garrett for sheriff.
Pat Garrett, huh?
Yeah. Garrett was a very respected man. Kind of tall, good looking, fast as hell with a gun. Brought in 3 of his deputies with him, swore he's going to get Billy. I play Pat Garrett and direct the pageant.
You got a pageant?
Yeah. Every year we put on a thing we call a Billy the Kid show. We got our showgrounds up the street here. People from all around, they take the parts, and we give, well, 2 or 3 performances. Pretty good show. Kid, I got a hell of an idea. Why don't you stick around and play Billy the Kid?
Me?
Why not?
Why not?
Well, he was a kid like you, coming this country, kicking somebody's machine.
How did Garrett get the kid?
Well, a lot of things happened before that. Kid kept moving around, trying to stay out of Garrett's way. You know, for some reason, he was a big hero for getting away from McSween's place. Some newspaper man back east started writing books about him. But Garrett knew all that hero stuff was a lot of bunk. Because the truth is, before Garrett got to be sheriff, he and the kid palled around together. I remember one time Billy was playing cards in a little bar outside of Fort Stanton. Black soldiers used to come down from the fort, kind of hang around the place.
Neat. Give me 2.
1.
Watch it there, nigga.
Leave him alone. He's just a little drunk.
Yeah, I'm drunk. No, I got these stripes. No, I'm gonna tell you. I got them because I'm a badass. Now call me nigga one more time.
Oh, come on, leave him alone.
Gonna move. Gonna move.
Mighty good shoot.
I know you. You're Billy the Kid. You know they got $500 on your head. You know one time you and me was on opposite sides?
Yeah.
That's when we had that fracas in Lincoln. We coming from Fort Stanton.
Is that a fact?
Only they wouldn't let us in the town. We was colored troops.
Yeah. I understand. Second bottle on the left.
Fourth bottle on the right.
You handle yourself pretty good.
Did I do okay?
Wanna try mine?
Sure.
You hit that third bottle on the right. Which one you want me to shoot?
Hit another ball.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna...
That small one in the corner.
Oh. This thing really handles nice.
You like it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I do declare they's a letting us in the balls now.
Don't hurt me, master. I's a good nigger. I's a real good nigger. Jesus loves me. I's a good nigger. I's a going to heaven. I's going to heaven, nigger. What seems to be the problem?
You know.
Don't push me.
Look, I'm pushing you. I'm pushing you. Billy the Kid. Billy the Kid. You're nothing.
You nigger. You ain't got the balls, nigger. Come on, nigger. Come on. Come on, nigger. You missing something? Look what I got. Here you go. Do you want them?
That was the sheepdog business I was telling you about.
Anyway, Garrett knew all the kids' ups and downs. It was Christmas in 1880. There was going to be a big dance. Garrett figured the kid would be there. He knew Billy never could pass up a dance. Garrett got his deputies together and set up an ambush just outside of town. Bob Ollinger was Garrett's chief deputy. Ollinger hated the kid. They were going to give the kid and his gang one hell of a Christmas present.
You're under arrest.
Well, they got one of the gang, but Billy's luck had held out. He got out of the ambush without a scratch. Even Garrett couldn't figure out how.
Garrett was a real son of a bitch, wasn't he?
It depends on which side you're on. Yeah. Garrett had had his taste of blood, and he wasn't going to let go. Billy and his gang was on the run. They'd holed up in Stinking Springs, an old blockhouse along the road to Vegas. It was stuck over a sulfur spring. It was hard to figure why the kid had hunkered down there. Well, Garrett and his deputies rode all that night. They come up on the blockhouse early that morning. Didn't happen often, but Billy had made a bad mistake.
This is Garrett. Crawl on out.
Damn, they got us trapped like rats. Shut up.
Might as well come on. We'll wait you out.
How'd I know y'all gonna shoot us down?
That's your gamble, kid.
That's what I figured. Wait!
Get me on my feet. Smell that coffee, kid? Sure warms your guts.
Why'd you send someone in here?
Come out and get it. It's funny here for everybody.
Is Ollinger out there?
Come out here, you son of a bitch!
Well, that doesn't give me much of a show, does it?
You come out with your hands up, you're all right.
Well, it looks like it's between Ollinger and a cup of coffee, and I'll be damned if I won't take the coffee. Hell, I'd rather hang than freeze. Hold it now, damn it, we're coming out!
Hello there. Would you step out here for a minute? I have something I want to show you.
I'll bet you do.
Okay.
This is a watercolor I just finished.
Nice.
I love the texture on those old adobe buildings. And desert flowers with their soft, muted colors.
I don't know that much about that stuff.
You have a marvelous face. It's very sensitive. I'd love to use you as a model. Would you be interested?
No. No, I'm not interested. I'm really not. Okay? Let's drop it.
Okay.
Garrett was famous. He'd got the kid alive. Billy'd been sentenced to be hung on the 13th of April. Garrett and his deputies started out on a trip to Lincoln to see the job done. Rumor was they'd never make it.
Is it a watercolor I just finished?
Rumor was they'd never make it.
What I'd like to know is where's this here gang that ain't supposed to allow the kid to hang? Huh? Huh? That's what I'd like to know.
Dead man, Ollinger. You ought to know that.
Huh. Yeah, that's a good one. I thought that's gonna happen to you, kid. Only it's gonna be your skinny little neck.
Lay off, Ollinger.
Lay off hell. What's the difference? That old rope's gonna come down and... I'm gonna get you, Ollinger. I'm gonna blow your goddamn face.
Ollinger, knock it off.
I just thought the prisoner was trying to escape.
Well, this is it.
Over there, and middle there is our Lincoln County Courthouse. That balcony up there, that's where Billy made his famous escape from. We got all the sound equipment and the light and stuff over there. The audience sits out there. What do you think?
Buddy.
Hi, Billy. How's things going? Doing all right? Thought you had some mighty fine stuff there. Nice day out, ain't it?
All right, let's cut it short. I don't want to always rate in hell.
Take care. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
That damn Corbett hanging around here again. I don't want him hanging around here.
What the hell? Just go up the smoke?
I say he don't get nothing.
Garrett is all right.
Well, Garrett ain't here. And I say it ain't okay. You're getting sloppy, Bill. I'm telling you. Look, I'm telling you for your own good. You keep your eye on that son of a bitch. I gotta go get fed. I'll be back in a little while.
You wouldn't believe it, kid. He's got nice folks.
Go.
When do they come back?
Camp. Does it to you. I gotta go. I got the cramps. I really do. Yeah, I gotta go. I really gotta go. I'm not kidding you. I'm gonna do it right here.
Damn, what is that? Hey, Bob.
Gonna bust whose goddamn face?
Hey, Dad, it's too damn loud.
All right. Now, here's how it goes. This is the Great Escape, and it's important. It's as important as Billy the Kid getting killed by Garrett. So let's get it right. That door you're standing in, you come tearing out of there with your guns blazing. Now remember, during the real performance, there'll be a lot of people out here in the street shooting back at you. Well, you jump off that balcony, and as soon as you land on that platform there, you start blasting at everybody. Now, you got that?
I guess so, but I'm gonna bust my ass when I jump off of this.
Well, you'll be all right. Kid, since we ain't got no blanks, you just fake it.
What?
Make noises like a gun.
Tell me, goddamn, look there.
You come out when I call you. All right, come on.
Bang! 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 Bang!
Come on, jump! Oh, damn. Jump!
I'm coming! I'm coming! I'm coming!
Now they're shooting at you! They're shooting at you!
Bang! 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 Bang!
Get up! Get on the horse!
Bang!
Come on! Hurry up! Get on the horse! Kick him out of there! Kick him out!
Why don't you go away?
Where?
I don't know. Somewhere nowhere. Away from here. You could go to old Mexico. Maybe you could go back east.
I'm sick of renting. I'm not going to rent anymore. I'm sick of it. I've been renting all my life.
You jump at every little sound. You're like a wild animal.
It doesn't make any difference. I'd be the same any place else. What the hell? I'm not going to rent anymore.
Maybe you could start over.
Now, I finally caught up with you in Fort Sumner at old Pete Maxwell's place. It's night. You're inside with the girl. I call you out. Hey, kid, come on out! You walk out. We face off on the street. We walk slowly forward, each waiting for the other to draw. But I'm the fastest, you get the idea? Okay, now you go in there. That's the door we use for Pete Maxwell's place. You come out when I call you.
I walk outside at night. I feel like it's coming in on me. All the others did the same thing I did, and I'm the one they want to hang. They hire somebody to come out and shoot me. Well, I'm not going to rent anymore. I'm 21 years old and I'm an old man.
Hey, kid! This is Pat Garrett. I know you're in there. Come on out with your hands up.
Hey, that's pretty good, kid. You nearly beat me in the draw. Kid?
Kid?
Kid? Kid? Kid? Kid? Kid? Kid?
Hey kid, where's the glory? Does the story change as time goes passing by? Men before you rode along this highway, finding answers as to how men live and die. And hey kid, look around you. Things may be a whole lot different than they seem. Take the time to find out what's around you. Can you tell if this is real or just a dream? Dusty desert sunshine of the time when guns were symbols of the law.